Imagine turning on your faucet, expecting clean, safe water to flow out. Something most of us take for granted every single day. But instead, you're met with brown, foul-smelling water pouring into your glass, making you question the very safety of your home. For nearly 100,000 residents of Flint, Michigan, this nightmare became their daily reality starting in 2014, turning a basic necessity into a source of fear and anxiety. In one Flint home, lead levels reached a staggering 13 to 200 parts per billion, while the EPA's action level is just 15. That's nearly 900 times the federal limit. This wasn't just dirty water, it was a toxic betrayal, delivered through the very pipes meant to sustain life and health, corroding trust along with metal. Flint was once a symbol of American prosperity, a thriving city built on the auto industry. But decades of economic decline left it vulnerable, especially for its majority, Black, low-income residents who were hit hardest by the crisis. The water crisis was not a random accident, but the result of years of systemic neglect, cost-cutting, and disastrous decisions by those in power who failed to protect the people they served. Yet, Flint's residents refused to be silent or accept their fate. They organized, protested, and demanded answers, standing up for their families and their future. Their fight is a testament to the power of community resilience, hope, and the determination to seek justice, even in the face of overwhelming adversity. To understand Flint's recovery, we must first confront the depth of the wound inflicted on this city and the long road to healing that still lies ahead. The Flint water crisis is a national warning, a stark lesson about infrastructure, environmental justice, and the fragile trust between government and its people, reminding us that safe water is a right, not a privilege. The catastrophe began in April 2014, when state-appointed managers made a fateful decision. They switched Flint's water source from Detroit's treated supply to the polluted Flint River, all in an effort to save money for the struggling city. What seemed like a simple cost-cutting measure would soon spiral into a crisis with devastating consequences. Officials publicly celebrated the switch, touting it as a step toward financial independence. But they ignored the river's corrosive history and skipped federally required anti-corrosive treatment, a $100 a day safeguard that could have prevented disaster. This oversight was not just a technical error, but a profound failure of responsibility. This gamble unleashed a public health disaster, quickly making headlines and sparking outrage across the community and the nation. Residents immediately noticed yellow, foul-smelling water pouring from their taps. Many suffered rashes, hair loss, and mysterious illnesses. Families feared for their children's safety every time they turned on the faucet. Even General Motors, a pillar of Flint's economy, stopped using the city's water because it rusted car parts on the assembly line, an alarming sign of just how corrosive the water had become. Despite mounting evidence and desperate pleas from residents, officials insisted the water was safe. They dismissed concerns and even advised people to boil their water, unaware that this would only concentrate the lead, making the problem worse. This period of denial deepened the crisis, leaving families feeling abandoned and eroding public trust in those meant to protect them. The government had a chance to act, to admit mistakes and protect its citizens. Instead, it chose to protect its decisions, prioritizing image and cost over the health and well-being of Flint's people. The result, a chasm of distrust that would haunt Flint long after the water source was switched back, leaving scars on the community that would take years to heal. The crisis was not just about water, it was about the value placed on human lives and the consequences when those in power failed to listen. Flint's story is a stark lesson in the cost of austerity, neglect, and the urgent need for accountability in public service. For 18 months, Flint residents' pleas for help were ignored, their voices drowned out by bureaucracy and indifference. Families gathered at City Hall, at public meetings, and on the streets, hoping someone would listen. Mothers like Leanne Walters watched helplessly as their children fell ill, suffering from mysterious rashes and unexplained fevers. Instead of compassion, they were met with denial and even ridicule from officials who should have protected them. Across the city, people raised bottles of discolored, foul-smelling water at meetings, desperate for answers and action. Their water was undrinkable, yet their concerns were brushed aside. Officials responded with misinformation, repeatedly assuring residents the water was safe, while dismissing their suffering and ignoring mounting evidence to the contrary. This gaslighting left the community isolated, doubting their own senses, and feeling powerless in the face of official denial. The psychological toll was immense, compounding the physical harm. Anxiety, fear, and mistrust spread through Flint's neighborhoods, as families wondered if anyone would ever help. But the community's outcry grew louder. Activists, pastors, and citizens organized protests, marches, and rallies, refusing to be silenced and demanding real action from those in power. It was Dr. Mona Hanna-Attisha, a local pediatrician, who finally proved the truth. Her research revealed that children's blood lead levels had doubled, and in some neighborhoods even tripled, confirming the community's worst fears. The state tried to discredit her, attacking her credibility and questioning her data, but the evidence was irrefutable and could not be ignored. The poison was now inside Flint's children, a devastating reality that no parent should ever have to face. Only then, after relentless pressure and undeniable proof, did officials finally switch the water back to Detroit's supply, hoping to stop the damage. The community's persistence forced the truth into the light, showing the world the power of ordinary people standing together against injustice. The Flint crisis was a preventable failure of public works. Flint River's corrosive water, untreated with orthophosphates, stripped protective layers from aging lead pipes, unleashing lead and other toxins into homes. Lead, a potent neurotoxin, is invisible and tasteless, making it especially dangerous. The water also created cancer-linked chemicals and allowed bacteria like E. coli to flourish. The decision to skip anti-corrosive treatment, in violation of federal law, was the direct cause of the poisoning. Residents unknowingly consumed and bathed in toxic water. This was not a natural disaster, but a man-made catastrophe born from reckless cost-cutting. The science is clear. Flint's suffering was entirely preventable. The health consequences for Flint's children are lifelong. Lead exposure causes irreversible brain damage, learning disabilities, and behavioral problems. The crisis also triggered an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease, killed at least 12, and left residents with chronic health issues. Every new illness is now viewed through the lens of the water crisis. But the deepest wound is broken trust. Residents feel betrayed by every level of government. Even with new pipes, many refuse to drink tap water, relying on bottled water out of fear. The mental health toll is staggering. Rates of depression and PTSD soared, rivaling those seen in war veterans. The crisis shattered the fabric of civic life, making healing even harder. Flint's trauma is a reminder that infrastructure failures can devastate entire communities. Flint residents fought for justice in court, leading to a historic $626 million settlement in 2021, most of it for children harmed by lead. The settlement offered some relief for medical and educational costs, but for many it wasn't true justice. Criminal charges against officials, including the former governor, ultimately failed, with no one held criminally accountable. For Flint, this was a bitter betrayal. Money can't restore lost health or trust. The legal battle brought resources but not closure. The struggle for healing and true justice continues. Flint's fight is far from over. The settlement mandated Flint replace all lead and galvanized steel service lines at no cost to residents. Crews have excavated over 28,000 properties and replaced more than 11,000 lead pipes, a hard-won victory for the community. The work has faced delays and mismanagement, with thousands of homes still awaiting replacement as of mid-2025. Tracking down property owners and accessing vacant homes remains a challenge. Still, the end is in sight. Officials aim to finish by late 2025. In May 2025, the EPA lifted its emergency order, declaring Flint's water meets federal safety standards. Many residents remain cautious, but the physical work of removing lead pipes is nearly complete. Flint is closing a painful chapter and laying the groundwork for a safer future. Out of crisis, hope emerged in Flint through RX Kids, a groundbreaking program led by Dr. Mona Hanna Atisha. RX Kids provides direct, unconditional cash payments to every pregnant mother and newborn in Flint. Each mother receives $2,500, then $500 per month for the baby's first year, no strings attached. Families use the money for essentials, reducing stress and improving health. Since 2024, RX Kids has distributed $10 million to over 2,200 families, many living on less than $10,000 a year. Early studies show improved prenatal care and child development. The program is a model for fighting child poverty and restoring trust. Michigan is expanding RX Kids statewide, aiming to reach 100,000 babies. Flint is now leading the nation in compassionate, innovative solutions. More than a decade after the crisis began, Flint is defined by both its scars and its strength. The lead pipes are nearly gone, and programs like RX Kids offer hope for a new generation. But the story isn't over. Children still bear the health consequences, and trust remains fragile. Flint's crisis is a warning for all of us. Safe water is a right, not a guarantee. We must hold leaders accountable and demand environmental justice everywhere. The resilience of Flint's people is a lesson in community power. Their fight must not be forgotten. Support organizations like RX Kids and share Flint's story. The people of Flint have shown what it means to fight for a better future. Now it's our turn to stand with them. Their future and ours depends on it.